They say my generation full of dough. We tell them thanks, this is our year. But on the real, they saying slow your roll. As if we don't, we gonna die, but we like it. They don't know what life is. My homie, if he heading to the party, we like it. And that poison be pricey, and they gon' get you hyphy. But if you ain't throwing down, then stay at home with your wife. And straight out the bottle.
Guys, we just wrapped up at Yum Village. We spoke to Godwin and Indy. Right across the street, we're on Woodward and Grand Boulevard. It's fantastic food. We actually just took a little bit of a bite. You'll see, we'll just show some of that footage right there. Honestly, great conversation. He's from Detroit, has a great sense of the community. Come check it out, guys, right here in New Center. Let's get into it. Yeah, let's do some introductions right now. I'm gonna probably mess yours up, Godwin. Okay, but so we're Off the Block presents.
Yeah, what's up?
And this is episode 4, and today we present Yum Village. So Godwin,
what's going on?
Ihentuge. No?
Yeah, oh yeah, okay.
I think you got it that time.
And Indy St. Louis. That is an official name. That is not a superhero name. That's a great name. Tops ace.
If you're not super famous yet, I don't know, just met you. You're gonna be famous.
Yeah, Indy
that
St.
is a
Louis.
famous name.
It's like Indiana Jones.
It is Indiana Jones.
No, that's crazy.
Indy St. Louis.
So I'm actually excited to even wrap this up because I'm gonna order some food after this. So you guys open at 11, no?
Yeah, we open at 11. You're gonna get your mind blown.
Yeah.
Yep.
So my question to you to start out, where I want to start is for someone who doesn't know Nigerian food, what do you order?
So if you want, so first we're fusion, so you could get a little bit of everything, African and Caribbean. But if you just try to go for that, I would say the classic would be the fufu. You could get a traditional stovetop steam, like how we have it here. Okay. But we also really push accessibility and just spreading the culture. So you can get it turned up. We put cheese in it and all sorts of stuff.
So I'm gonna rely on you. You're gonna take my order after this. So I'm gonna take whatever you suggest. So I do have a massive canker sore here. So if I sound weird, but I gotta do some numbing before because I'm assuming I don't know how spicy the food is. Spicy.
You know what? Everyone thinks we got spicy food. Like you can. It says spicy next to the title. Like you can get something non-spicy.
And then how kind of leaning into the authenticity of the food. Like you said, we do this, but we also have a little kick and spin. How do you balance that? And then how would you define Yum Village's food in that aspect?
So I think what we do is we really push Afro-Caribbean eats, and the best way to sum it up is you can get a traditional West African Senegalese peanut stew called mafe. Yeah. And you can get that over rice, or you can get it over French fries, and now we got African poutine. Holler at me.
Yeah,
African poutine.
So I was watching the Bobby Flay episode. I sent it to Shane yesterday, and I was like, "You got to watch this or whatever." He didn't watch it, so he doesn't even know if you won or not. But I watched the entire episode, and I saw you cook some of that mafe. I saw you do that stuff. So I had a couple questions about it. When they revealed in that first round, like the prune, like they go, and you have to cook with prunes. Did you know right then, or did they kind of give you a heads up in the background? A little before.
The way they do that is they're kind of sneaky. So they interview you ahead of time. So they were like, "What are the things that you don't like to cook with?" And so I said, "I hate cooking with fruit." Right, so then
you fucked yourself. There.
So they knew he knew already when they finished. So that was my first time.
Your reaction in it, you're like, They called him out in it. They're like, they were talking to like, God, when I see you're not happy about that, like they literally picked at you for that, and you didn't realize till probably you were on the show.
Right at the moment that my PA comes up, he was like, "Yo, I'm glad you went in the next round because I knew you were going for prunes. I know you can't cook with fruit, but you pulled through."
You did. It looked nice.
So you just like applied to this, and then you just went through interview process, and you got on the show.
So I was on. So I cooked for celebrities. I was on a couple of other shows. One of them was Dom Eats Local. It's like a Travel Channel show, and that person, the host of that show, I really liked my food, and then the executive producer of that show really liked my food. So I got a couple of tryouts based off of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
typically,
awesome.
You could go like 2 years ago when I was still trying to do the circuit. I went to Culinary Institute in Napa, and you do like food competitions, things like that, and you get qualifying votes to go on the different shows.
Okay, I have a quick question because I want to stay on the Bobby Flay thing for a second. But you said you went to like was that a competition in Napa, or was that more like a training? Because I was going to ask about like are you professionally trained, or is this all just from the kitchen practicing learning?
I might as well be professionally trained, but I've never gone to a full complete culinary school. I've done like culinary school. but I never completed culinary school.
Okay.
I just worked in kitchens
So
forever.
you had a little bit of background because, like, you know, there's so many technical aspects. I'm assuming people don't know, but no, I was curious about that when I was watching. I'm like, you're on these shows, and I was wondering, like, to what extent you might have had some professional experience. So I want to talk about that, and then what happened with the rice, man, in that last round.
You know
man.
what? So
he didn't finish the rice in his last.
Parboiled rice for us, like our rice takes about 45 minutes to cook. It's like a certain process, and so if they would have given me a 15-minute head start on the rice where I could like have gotten it ready ahead of time, maybe, or if they would have given me the opportunity to switch it up. Like one of the things is you have to go on with your dish. And then at the time, I didn't know that I could have taken the liberty of just making a fly change. And I did that. So I could have done like basmati or like couscous or something else. And then you got jollof couscous, you know, like it would have been better. But, you know, you live and you learn.
No, I know. And honestly, I think that's what ended up making them win because the guy made the comment. I'm like, dang it, man. And I was rooting for you like it was a sporting event. I'm like, oh, you got to win. I'm going to be a champion.
I honestly know that if the rice was complete, I would have had that.
No, yeah, for sure. That's what I was thinking. Okay, so let's jump in, Indy. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about your guys' relationship. You guys have a partnership here. I was actually just drinking butter rum latte?
The butter rum latte, yeah.
It's fantastic. Tell us a little bit about your guys' relationship, how you guys got into business with each other, and then I just watched a video about your update. You got some changes coming on. Why don't you tell the audience about that?
Sure. Well, I own a business called Hold Me Closer XX. I was running a pop-up at the Russell Industrial Center up the street, down the boulevard a little bit.
Yeah.
And then my business partner there got us. He's done some work for Godwin in the past.
Okay.
And he made introductions because I guess they had talked about previously that they were curious about having a coffee service here.
Yeah.
And he came by, tried my specialties, fell in love with them.
What was your favorite?
Started chatting.
This pistachio cloud really did it for me. It's like
do you have that right now today? Can I get one of those or no? It's not.
It's like the hardest thing to keep in stock because it's the most popular one that I have.
Okay.
Yeah, you have some?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
I was thinking about getting I think you had like something with like cinnamon in it or something, or cortado, or I don't know.
Yeah, the
something.
Caribbean. So a little backstory about me. My family's from Trinidad.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, nice.
So we're very deep roots in the Caribbean. I was born in St. Croix myself. So,
Nice.
Grew up with all of those types of cultures,
Yeah.
And yeah, it felt like a perfect fit to be able to bring those types of flavors for coffee service at an Afro-Caribbean restaurant. So it just kind of melded like right away.
Works
I mean?
perfect.
Exactly. So the Caribbean cortado it's a Jamaican peanut punch base with espresso.
That sounds amazing.
It's an imported product, so you can't actually get that here in the States.
Yeah.
And nobody else is doing espresso with peanut punch.
Nice.
Well, you gave up
no one in the
coffee,
world.
so you.
I more so gave up caffeine. If we got a decaf, I'll try it.
No, we're talking about ingredients a little bit. Is peanuts like a super Nigerian thing? 'Cause I noticed it was in your dish.
You know what? No, it's just that's just it's not super Nigerian so much as it's just what the dish is made. So there's like a peanut stew in Nigeria and Senegal. They have mafe, which is a peanut stew. So it's just something they use.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
It's just accessible,
Yeah.
And were you born? Where
I was
were you
born here.
You're born in Detroit. Nice.
First generation.
Nice.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah.
So you guys hit it off then, and then
So I mean, Hold Me Closer. Like one of the things is having a restaurant, right? There's just so many different parts to it, and a lot of people don't know this, but behind the numbers of it, you've got to operate. You got business operations, so OpEx, right? And then you've got kitchen operations, so Kitchen X, and then you've got front of house, and then anything else, so bar. And so the problem is a lot of times there's just one person who is now wearing a lot of different hats, and then they can't execute. And then in addition to that, they're working in the business, not on the business, so they can't objectively see things or make decisions. And so Hold Me Closer's been great because not only has Indy been able to help us with coffee, but he's also been able to execute and help with a lot of the front of house stuff that, like an example, I can work on the business and also focus on other things versus having to try to do a lot of things.
No, that makes sense. How many employees in total do you have at this specific location? 12.
We're about 12.
And then I was on the website. Is there 2 other locations?
We had a couple locations. During the pandemic, it was hard for everybody. So we ended up closing 3 locations in the past couple of years through the pandemic.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, because I've been to this one.
Yeah.
Where were the other 2 at?
So we were in El Club for a year, and then we were at West Village for 2 years.
Oh, nice.
You been to this one?
Yeah, this is the one I went to. Yeah.
Oh, what'd you get?
I can't remember.
Just want you to like them.
This is like a year and a half ago. Maybe. I think there were some plantains
I think
in
you
there.
tell everybody we go to, I've been here. This is my favorite place.
I told him all that. I've been here. I remember it being amazing. I couldn't tell you what I ate exactly, but it was delicious.
He just wants you guys to like them.
Yeah.
I am getting the surprise order from you after this, no doubt. What you got? Any other questions?
So I read that it started off as an app.
Yeah. So Yum Village originally, I was a mortgage banker at Quicken Loans, and at the time, before they had like Bizdom, which I think has now been closed down, they had a competition called Mousetrap in which you submit business ideas. And so my idea was to submit Yum Village as if you're familiar with Airbnb, with like a MySQL database, it was the same concept of utilizing underutilized spaces and then facilitating short-term leases with chefs and food entrepreneurs.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I was listening to that when in that podcast that we were talking about that Detroit is different podcast. That's a pretty cool idea.
It's very viable now. I still want to do it.
There's no reason why you can't. I honestly think, and especially I think one thing you were talking about before too is you were doing that before pop-ups were a thing. Those are like more like a hot culture thing now. People love the pop-ups. People are going to come in like, that's the thing to go to. So I think that's even more viable now than not. So I think if you keep pushing towards that, I don't see why you can't succeed in that.
You know what? All my life, I have been cursed with being able to see things before they happen.
Yeah.
And then when you like...
See the invisible is what I would say.
See the invisible, And so like when I'm like, you need to do this, you need to do this. It's just like, I'm ahead of my time too many times.
Yeah, I say that a lot about myself. I can see the invisible. Like I can see what this would be. It's not even there. But
it's coming.
One thing I wanted to bring up too, because we were doing a little research in Nigerian food. Do you remember like the Lions used to have like 8 Nigerian players? It was like 2021. They had like I was just curious, did the Lions players come through or like?
Not necessarily, but we do have like a lot of different folks that come. There are a lot of those players, they have like their private chefs and things like that. So it gets a little different. But we have had like Jay Hen comes through with his family and whatnot.
Who?
Justin Henry Malloy plays for the Tigers.
Oh yeah.
Hamadou Diallo, when he was playing for the Pistons, he would come by. We're right by the practice facility, so we see some of those guys a lot.
For sure.
And then I would cook for like Jadena and Big Sean and those guys.
So what's that like? You jump in, you're cooking. Is that or he chatted up with you, chop it up with you? Because you talked a lot about manifestation on that podcast. That sounds like Big Sean.
You know what? Man. So to be honest with you, one of the things even before I started doing the cooking and everything, I left Quicken Loans. I started pursuing the Yum Village. I wasn't really cooking full time. My buddies cooked. I was more like the numbers guy.
The business guy.
The business guy. I just got thrown in there. So what happens is you get booked. My first one was Sam Richardson. That was my first.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Man, I've been watching Detroiters. I just finished season 3. Detroiters. It's got to come to Netflix, right? Yeah. We got to get that in. We shoot an episode here.
I did a rap party for them when they did it. So like for that, you get to talk to them a little bit. But not really. You're more so just like
you're working.
You're busy. You're working. Like I can't like get an autograph for real.
But we're more curious. Like after the rap is like after it's done, like if you grab a cocktail and get to shoot the shit with them at all.
Some of them, like some of them you get to hang out with. Like Stretch Money and 313 Valid. Like those guys are pretty cool.
Nice.
Jizza from Wu-Tang Clan. He's like somebody who's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Boldy James from Griselda.
I saw Tiffany Haddish followed your guys.
Yeah. She was here the other day.
You know Tiffany Haddish, right? The comedian. She's actress, comedian. She's super funny.
Probably know if I saw her.
Yeah, you would. She's super funny.
How do you get hooked up with are you going out and making these connections, or do you have someone doing that for you?
No, you know what? It's just the food. It's just word of mouth. People
It's all organic.
Come get some hot fire. Dylan, hot fire.
Yeah. Dude, no doubt. That's sweet because well, the Detroiters thing gets me lit up. I want them to make a show.
We're
and
big fans.
Yeah, I told them, I go, hey, one of the episodes, I don't know if you guys watched all the episodes, but they sell the Detroit, but it says D2roit, and they're like, that makes no sense. It's like this merch that's like stupid, but we're wearing that shirt one of the episodes.
We should
It's gonna be super funny. One thing I want to talk about too, we're talking about connections and networking and growing your business. I was reading that you were in LCA, Little Caesars Arena. Did you have food in there? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So,
are you still there too?
Yeah. So it's based off of time, So like, I'm a big Pistons fan, if you don't know.
Hell yeah,
And so
me too.
I knew they were going to the playoffs, and they still are set up to do that. So I booked from April to September so that I can get playoff tickets. I'm pretty much there for all the games. But it's run through Delaware North. Delaware North is the concessionaire that handles it. And so I had a previous relationship with them through Tiger Stadium.
Okay.
And so because of that, I got the opportunity to come over.
Because you had some products in Tiger State or in Comerica Park, you were
so
saying?
we're in Comerica Park through Delaware North as well.
What do you serve? What are you serving? That's Yum Village.
You know what? So it's actually interesting. This is kind of what led us to opening up El Club after our first year, and then also just changing our menu. If you come here now, you can get stuff from the savory bites, but we do like jerk chicken nachos, jerk chicken tacos, things like that.
Oh yes.
But before JMO had all the stuff going on with him, he was broadcasting there, we had the full normal menu. So we're doing rice bowls and oxtails and things like that. Yeah. And so while we were being consistently pubbed, like we were on the Jumbotron, et cetera, we had some of the lowest sales in that first initial year of any of the vendors.
The irony of it all.
I know, right?
People, that's what this podcast is all about. It's all about trying to tell the stories behind these venues and these places. Because one line I say we inspired this podcast is, we should buy a bar. We should buy a bar. And everyone says, oh, we can run a bar, we can buy a restaurant, we can do a coffee shop. But what does it actually take? It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of sweat. And so what are you serving at LCA? We're going to the Wings game tonight, so I think we're going to go. I'm going to have lunch here. I'm going to have dinner, Yum Village.
But we're not there until April, though. So just April to September.
So just during the, you're saying just in the playoffs.
It's
you want
I got you.
It's like for that program, it's like a diversity kind of program. Not so much as like putting other small businesses into the stadium.
Uplifting the small businesses surrounding the stadium.
Right.
That's awesome.
And so with that, you pick a time. So you can get in there in March, you can get in there in April, or you can get in there through the April through.
So are you going to be working though at that time? Because then you're going to be missing the playoff games when Cade's going crazy.
I'm going to be going crazy and working at the same time. I'm sure we'll have a team there with me. So
you'll just be overseeing the team. How's it going? Okay, game's starting, guys. Hold it down. I got to go watch. No, that's what the big boss does, baby. Let's go.
I love to hear it. We're both big Pistons fans.
Yeah, massive. We have a Pistons chat, Pistons Elite chat. We literally we just
there's like 4.
There's only 4 of us.
I'm like I'm a daily guy.
Want to join our Pistons Elite chat?
I will. I definitely will. I talk Pistons nonstop in my chat with.
I had a buddy who woke up. Harden dropped 50 on the Pistons last night, and Cade dropped 37 last night. They played out on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I go, but Harden got 20 free throws, and then Cade only gets 6. And then Cade was talking about it after the game.
That's a big difference, man. Big difference.
He would have dropped 50 if he got 20 free throws.
Of course.
That's what I'm saying.
Unreal.
God.
Unreal.
No, but that's awesome. You're a Pistons fan.
The beauty of it too is like being inside these different types of establishments. Like we were in El Club, we were in Little Caesars Arena, we're in Comerica Park. We're here as a brick and mortar right on Woodward. It gives us a good insight into if we were to scale, like for real, because I had to close 3 locations. What would be the most opportune way to do that?
Right. Yeah, no, and you learn about that. So let's jump into the business a little bit. I don't know, it's right, Milwaukee Junction News Center. I don't know what you consider this exact part, Milwaukee Junction maybe. I don't know. It's right in between that intersection. So what's that look like in terms of, do you guys own this building? Because they're all connected, or you lease? What's the square footage lease in this type of area per square foot?
Typically it's about between 35 and 5,500, I'd say a month would be what your lease rate is. So when we first got here, I was actually leasing this as a commissary. I had my food truck, and so I was paying $2,000 a month just to use this place on the weekends. And then the previous owners of the previous business here that the rent was just $2,500 for
Yeah.
the whole, so I might as well just take over the whole.
Yeah,
place.
'cause there's some open spots down here. I mean, it's only going to blossom. I mean, you can see all that's just some elite places here from the city that just
Yeah,
well-known places. So like, you're in. How long is that lease that you signed? Like how many years?
I feel like I'm here for another 5 years right now.
So was that a part of the contract that you signed?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna say that's a good deal because the price is only gonna go up in this
Yeah.
area. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
and you definitely need to
Yes.
get a friendly deal if that's how you're leasing. So what's your guys' revenue on a yearly basis?
So we're not. So some of our neighbors are doing like a couple million. We're just at 1 million ourselves right now.
That's still solid. And then are your costs like? Is
Yeah.
that
So right now it's been interesting because since we've opened, food costs have jumped. So we opened right in 2018 of April.
Yeah.
And then not even a year after we got the pandemic, and so
Yeah.
within that 10 to 12-month period, we'll say like our biggest seller is chicken, right? We do the halal chicken thighs as well as a couple other things, but everything here is halal. The average case of a chicken back when we first started then was somewhere between $35 and $40, and right now we pay somewhere between $80 and $100 for that same case of chicken.
okay?
Dang.
It's not like I could say like, yo, I'm gonna charge you $8 for this piece of chicken. Now I'm charging you $16.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different game.
Inflation
right
is no joke.
It's hitting everybody. All
It's everything.
aspects.
No
Absolutely.
doubt. You got any questions right now? I got a few more. I'm going to run through. I didn't know if you anything on top of your head.
Do either of you guys have any musical talent?
Yeah.
We both do actually.
What do you guys do?
Yeah.
I asked because we're on a hot streak right now. We got
Oh, yeah.
past 2 guests have sang. So
Yeah.
Okay.
can you sing?
No.
Yes. So yes, it was yes, but you're not going to. Was that look? That's what it was.
exactly.
I feel like it would be like a karaoke type of singing.
That's
you know,
fair.
for both of
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
used to sing in a band and stuff like that, but I'm
Nice.
more of on the musician side. Yeah, I've been
So
playing
you play
music
instruments?
for,
What do you guys play?
play
I play
piano
bass.
mostly.
Piano, bass. You guys ever play together? Put a little band together?
We haven't yet.
No, yeah, we have not. We should do it.
We should. That'd be dope.
The place looked like it was pumping last night. You guys got DJs that just set up in here and stuff.
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
is part of some of the stuff that Hold Me Closer is doing for front of house. So
That's cool.
Rocking programming, setting up open deck. So every Wednesday, 5 to 8, DJs are coming in and just spinning. It's a good
That's
vibe.
awesome.
No, it was. It was
We
an
have some
awesome
late
vibe.
night stuff as well. Yeah, because I've just been in the music scene for my entire life.
Yes.
So that's just always something that I have like a connection to.
Do you guys know by chance Seven the General? You ever heard of him? Rapper.
I know the
It sounds
name.
familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a rapper. One of my buddies, he's done a couple songs with him. So
Nice.
we're out
He's
in Grand
been
Rapids.
doing music in Detroit for
I was
20 years.
Yeah,
I
but
was in,
Seven
like,
is more of an East Side guy.
a little
Where
rap group in college, so I still like write and stuff. Like I do like
That's cool.
writes and stuff.
so you play. You said you play football in high school too.
Yeah, yeah.
What
yeah.
position?
I did outside linebacker and DN.
Nice.
Yeah, we ran like a nickel kind of thing, like a 5-6 situation.
What about you, Andy? You play any sports?
No, just
No,
music.
just
all
music,
my
more
entire
music guy.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a
I was a
sports
touring
nut.
musician for a while before I came to Detroit.
You got the drum
so-
back here. You ever
Yeah.
beat around on that thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude,
absolutely.
musician for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what else here? I got.
We said you write raps. Is this the connection to Big Sean? Are you his ghostwriter?
Oh, yeah. Look, I
good
wish,
question,
bro.
good
Like,
question.
but you know what? I respect Sean because some people don't be writing their own raps.
Yeah,
right? You know,
a lot
so,
of
like,
people don't.
No,
yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
people
you know,
don't.
So like Sean, you listen to him, you can tell this man was in here crafting up. So
Oh yeah, no, I'm a big
like
fan.
it. I'm a fan too.
Eminem's the same way. He's like, if you don't write your own raps, like he's like, you're not real. Like I don't trust you. Like,
Yeah.
and
That's-
They're
that's
like
just how it is.
entertainers, you know, coming out here
Yeah.
with the
That's cool that you have that relationship, though. I mean, that's honestly, it's got to be a rewarding feeling, no? Like having like these prominent figures come in and give you props for what you've built.
Being an entrepreneur is one of the most crazy experiences because you just got so many people because you're accessible, right? You know, so like I'll say like I have a space, I have the platform, so I might do something like say I'm gonna do plantain flamboyant or whatever, right? I'm gonna do like a plantain split or like any type of fancy dessert. I can guarantee you that like if I were to do that, any mistake or any little thing, I'm gonna get feedback about, and so
It can be harsh, too,
it
eh?
is. And then now you like if you're not confident in yourself or you just don't believe, which is can be very hard. You know, it's a lonely world when you have peers who aren't really your peers. Oftentimes, you got imposter syndrome as well as other things that like play in. So it can be very, very.
That's just your mind going through. That's natural. I think it's not as like I think. The mind makes up a lot more than what it actually is. I think people, if they like it, they're there.
If nothing is going to happen, then nothing's going to happen.
That's the passion side of it, you know. You care so much about it. Of course, you're going to be constantly thinking about everything.
I live right off 8 Mile in Oak Park, and there's a little Jamaican spot there. I don't know. Have you ever been there? Have you ever seen it?
I feel like I've gone to most of them in the area.
Yeah, I think it's Jamaican pot is what it's called.
Yeah.
But you brought up oxtail. And I had oxtail for the first time like a couple months ago.
What is it? Is it ox? I've never had oxtail.
It's like the tail of the cow.
Yeah. So the one I had, I didn't realize. I mean, it's real bony. They're like, there's not a lot of meat on there. Is that just that one that I had? Or
it's like a delicacy, man. You know, so like it's just such a tender piece of meat because it's constantly being used. You know, active. So you're gonna get like just these little morsels of just very, very tender and very succulent meat if it's seasoned well, you know, if it's seasoned properly, right? You know, and then oftentimes there's a gravy or like a starch usually cooked with it to also help soak up some of that flavor.
Awesome. Yeah, I loved it, but it was like, man, it's like I get one little bite and then you move on to the next one.
I mean, you know, but some people, it's expensive. Like we do like a 3 to 5 knuckle oxtail serving here that we sell with rice and our truffle oil greens for about $28. And I feel like that's cheap. You know, like it should be like $35. But
tax these people. Let's go. It ain't cheap out here.
People are catching on, you know, because it started as a struggle meal, and now it's people learn that it tastes incredible.
Right,
you know?
right.
Are you curating the whole menu still to this day? You making those changes? Are you is it a collaborative effort?
No,
What's
every
that like?
3 months we do like a remix of the menu. So like we let people come in. You can actually vote on stuff. During the summertime we do like Freestyle Friday. So like depending on how I'm feeling, you can come in. You can say like, yo, put this on the menu, yo, don't put this on the menu.
I like that.
And one of our third most sold items right now, the Rasta Pasta, is a Freestyle Friday item. We just started doing that. In the summertime, we only did it on Fridays. Then people started coming in on Fridays just for the Rasta Pasta, even though we do something different every Friday for Freestyle Friday. So it's now our third most sold item today.
No, it looked nice. I'm excited. One thing you were supposed to remind me, but you forgot. I reminded myself. The merch.
Oh yeah.
Yes, go.
The merch is fire. I was checking it out. Okay, no, it looks cool, but I have to say, like, I don't think I can wear that. Like, I think if someone sees, no, you haven't seen the merch, have you?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, right? Okay, pull up the merch. Okay, we'll pull up the merch. So,
it's a solid merch line. Everybody
the merch line's amazing, but I'm just saying, you know, what's it called when they say like cultural appropriation?
But some
like, look at that white boy walking around in all that African gear. Who does he think he is?
I'm glad you said that.
So tell the people, like, hey, if you're a white boy, can you come walking down without being slandered?
You know what? So we got a yellow hoodie, and I know a white boy who rocks that every day.
Oh, yeah. You know who would? Zach Skin, our friend. He doesn't give a shit.
Oh, yeah.
He would look cool as hell.
Yeah.
I got to type in
so the way we design that stuff is it's made so that anybody can wear it. It's not like
I don't believe that.
No, like if you look at like traditional, like you go to like Diana or like one of those sites, you know, like maybe you wouldn't be able to get away wearing something like that, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Like a traditional game tonight in Yum Village
traditional
merch.
dashiki or something. Yeah.
Like, you know, like
There's stuff you can make work.
Hey, what if I wore this one right here? Where is it? It said like Detroit made Africa, or what does it say?
African raised, Detroit made.
African raised, Detroit made. Imagine me wearing that at the Red Wings game tonight. I mean, how fly would that be?
You can rock it. Elon Musk can wear it.
Elon Musk.
He would,
Okay,
too.
so okay, look at it. Like Skin would wear that.
I would wear that.
This is sick.
For sure.
No, what I'm saying is all of it's sick.
Yeah.
I'm just saying how would it be received with me walking down, you know, in these things. It kind of reminds me of the Fresh Prince, you know, back when Will Smith wearing something like
Fresh
that.
Prince vibe,
He would rock some stuff like this. That's good. Marshmallow. This is more. I can be accepting this. You know, Marshmallow. It's got that same thing there.
It's
we'll show pictures of this, hopefully too. We'll talk. You know, what we're flashing up, just because people are like, "What the hell is he talking about?" But check out the website too, because there is sick. Like this stuff, definitely. I can rock.
Are you designing this stuff, or who? You got like a designer?
I design it. It's one of my other hobbies I like to do when I'm not cooking food.
Technically, I am African raised. I did listen to a lot of rap growing up, so
So you're
African raised. I was raised by the music of Africa, so technically, I can wear that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, that's sweet though.
That's funny.
How long have you been designing stuff like that?
So originally when I started doing this, I didn't want to do food at all. Like I was like, I'm never doing a food business.
It's tough, man.
The numbers don't make sense. But I've been designing clothes since college. I wanted to be a clothing designer originally, and then you go into like what it takes to be a clothing designer, and at the time, like I was like super leaner back then, so my cousins, like we modeled and stuff like that, so that was just more of the world I was looking into, but you still keep
everything's difficult if you want to make it to a top spot. I mean, it's not easy. I don't think that's something people should say to discourage people. Everything's difficult. Just pick what your difficult is. Like there's going to be
follow through.
Hard.
Yeah, I felt like if I was going to put because that was like the thing, but if you really go, I wanted to be a video game designer, and so
my cousin was.
I'm actively in video games now. Like I do video game stuff now with youth every day. I do content creation around video games. So this is why I decided not to so much do the clothing. I would say I do food. I love food. I enjoy
a video
cooking.
game guy. He's a big video game guy. I don't do that shit. I get too addicting.
Catch me on
It
Rivals.
really is.
It's too addicting, man.
But yes, you got to put it down. Like so, it's a lot of things. You've got to really have a focus and only like play certain times and things like that. I get a check to play games, so like
That's sick. That's the dream. I think most teenage boys' dream is to do that.
Exactly what
What else?
So I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna watch it, but we can spoil a little bit unless you don't want to. Did you win the Bobby Flay?
We said.
Did I miss it? Yeah.
No, he got fucked on the rice. He didn't cook the rice.
That's right.
properly.
But what place does it place? I haven't seen.
So like the way it
It's a
works
quick
is
episode.
like you got to go against somebody, and then after you go against that person, then you go against Bobby Flay.
Gotcha.
And so like I feel like honestly they didn't think I was gonna win because I didn't even get any props. Like the guy had like a scepter and like a crown and all this stuff.
Yeah, and then you just came out. But
Should
you
have came
out
in with
pretty
all your
fire.
merch on.
We didn't have it at the time, so we developed merch. We were in grocery stores, we were in merch. We did all that stuff so that we could have alternative revenue streams to help pay for like staff and stuff. Like the restaurant industry in the hourly position has a 90% turnover rate, right?
Yeah.
So like in a field where 40% of businesses in the restaurant industry are closing every year, and one of the biggest factors to that is consistency, then we got to focus on consistency around our staff.
Yeah.
We got to keep them in the door.
Does anybody actually beat Bobby Flay?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Okay.
He's got like a 40%, like it's like a 40% win rate. So he wins 60% of the time and he loses 40%.
I gotta be honest, I didn't think you were getting out of that first round just because like you were so they really teed it up. Like he was so discouraged about this. He had to cook with prunes. He's like, fuck.
It's interesting too. Like I feel like
He was like really pissed off.
I think I got in in the last like 15, 30 seconds because
you were like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah, I did like a little extra stuff to my dish, which
The
I
kale.
think, so it was the kale, and then I had added some citric acid to the prune relish that I made, I think that carried me over. If I didn't do that, I don't think I would have made it.
No, it was creative.
It's funny because Bobby made a comment. He was like, if you're done, you're done. More doesn't mean good, or extra doesn't mean good. Like, he made a comment to me like that. I was like, all right.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, I know what I'm doing. But it was just funny because then they had to go cook like a Nigerian cuisine. And I'm like, there's no chance Bobby Flay is going to outcook this guy right here. Godwin's going to smoke.
He did an Asian dish,
Did you get to try it, by the way,
No.
afterwards or no? So you needed to judge it, and then you judge me like, nah, this ain't it,
It
man.
was an Asian dish. He did an Asian dish, and I did an African dish. So, by technical, you had to do like the same dish.
He wasn't doing. He just kind of remixed.
You don't even get to try it at all?
No, I didn't get to try it at all. I just know that I know that he went all out because when Bobby brings out the crispy rice, and I don't know if you watch the show or anything, but when he brings out the crispy rice,
They
and
all
stuff,
start. They said crispy rice like 50 times in 10 seconds.
This is why I don't watch these shows because I'm watching it and I can't eat it. But you're telling me even if I go on the show, I still can't
still
eat
can't
it.
eat it.
No,
can't win.
I feel like it's kind of rigged
I watch
sometimes.
Chef's Table and Somebody Feed Phil. Those are on Netflix. Those are my two go-tos. Fire.
Is
Chef's
that the
Table
one
is a
where he's,
good
like,
one.
blindfolded?
No, Somebody Feed Phil. He travels around the world. He's this
okay.
older dude. I think he did Ray Romano. That he wrote that show, but now he's just like multi-millionaire and he just goes around travels. And,
Okay.
Yeah, and then Chef's Table is a really artistic. They like
Yeah, I
honestly
watch
they
Chef's
could come
Table.
here and do that because I've seen your food; it's beautiful. Then they do these artistic takes, but then they would dive into like your story specifically, how you were raised, and it's a really
It's
done
like a whole
beautifully.
documentary
It's beautiful.
style.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
show.
cool. Yeah.
It's sick.
It's very cool.
Yeah, you definitely should go see how we can get
I'm gonna
Young
take a look
Village on
at
that.
it. I know the Chef's Table on Netflix.
Yeah, it's pretty popular.
No, it's nice. Well, I'm getting hungry. It's almost open time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
yeah,
so.
we're getting ready to open.
You're gonna give me my special order here.
So I am gonna give you some of the most delicious food you've ever had.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm ready to try it. Like I said, I have
I
no.
know you're ready for that.
I have zero of Nigerian food. Are you gonna order? You want
Yeah,
anything?
yeah, I'm in.
All right,
Yeah,
get him. We'll order 2 off you then,
Yeah.
and then Ace, you want some lunch? You getting a coffee or something?
Yeah, try out
There
the
you go.
coffees,
Andy,
man.
anything else? Yeah, you
Yeah.
want to, before we wrap up, let's talk about a little bit, there's some business transactions going on in your life. Tell us a little bit about what your hopes and dreams are going
We've
forward.
also got a coffee shop in the Philippines.
Yeah, so
Philippines.
low key, I do actually own 2 businesses in the Philippines.
That's awesome.
Technically 3, but I'll talk about the 2. I did, before I even thought about doing the coffee shop here in the States or coffee business in general, I had started doing a coffee shop in the Philippines. I partnered with my dad. We're business partners out there, and it's like one of the coolest things. We just opened actually on Valentine's Day.
How often are you going out there?
I was there last year in 2024 for about 2 months to try to get that conversation started.
Yeah.
And I have a plan to get out there in May.
Cool.
To set up for our grand opening. We had our soft opening, like I said, on Valentine's Day. But,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's the other one? That one just opened.
Is it still
So-
Hold Me Closer out there, or is it?
There will be one of those out there soon. Yes.
Nice.
I
But
love the
this is
name.
a
Where'd that
brand
come?
called,
Can we? I'm sorry to interrupt, but
that?
jump into your name and why Hold Me Closer.
Hold Me
too.
Closer.
No, let
So
Young
I have,
Village after.
I take care of an elderly dog. She's 13 years old. She's the love of my life. My little dog that her name's Tiny Dancer. So if you can
Well,
make
Elton
that
John.
correlation of Hold Me
Yeah,
Closer, Tiny
Hold Me
Dancer.
Closer.
So the idea that before I even got into coffee, I created a lifestyle brand to encourage people to kind of take a step back, savor your precious moments a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where that name came.
Okay.
That's
So
awesome.
it fits in the realm of, savor that cup of coffee
Yeah,
a little bit more.
No,
Just
I
take
get
a
it.
moment, slow down for a second, and because you never know, it might be the last.
Yeah.
And I did it. I named it after her, my dog, just
awesome.
to kind of remember that relationship that
You
we've
brought
had
up karaoke.
together.
Have you ever gone up and karaoke'd Elton John?
I have.
Have you?
Yeah, I
I
have
like
for
it.
sure. Way back in the day,
love it.
absolutely.
Nice.
So yeah, that's where the name comes from. And that's
And you're going to
That's the
be
story.
kind of still working around here. You're having
I'll still
being
be here. Yep. I'll
Alright.
still be, on the back end support of the coffee service here. Hoping to get some more of my personal line of products out into the world, especially the pistachio cloud is available for purchase now. I have my retail bags of retail coffee bags available for purchase.
I
And-
love pistachio, so
Yeah.
whenever we can get that fired up, I'll come back. I'll
Oh,
hit
yeah.
you up.
I'll
I
send
can't
you
remember.
guys some
might
for
have
sure.
Still, I
Yeah.
think we still
Yeah,
have
I'll
some
send
of
you
that.
some for sure.
No doubt. Yeah,
It's
might
one
get
of the best products I've come up with.
No, I love
Delicious.
that. And then why Yum Village?
So Young Village, like I said, I was originally going through these business incubators at the time when I was making the business concept. And so Young Village came about. It was going to be called Blue Plates, I think, Clay Stones. But Young Village just came about because I wanted a community around food. I thought of an armada of food entrepreneurs working together towards a common goal. It's kind of like what Young Village is in essence right now anyway. And it was only 99 cents on GoDaddy. I was just like Yum and Village because I'm African, so the Village really resonated. And then of course Yummy,
Yum.
like Yum
Yeah,
and
your
Village.
food's
yeah,
yummy.
yeah, man. So it didn't really pair up that it rhymed with Slum Village
Yeah.
until I started getting booked, and people were like Slum Village. I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. I'm from Detroit. Let's go.
That's how it works.
That's awesome.
It's a good story. One thing I wanted to touch on before we wrap up too was you won that match program. You were talking about where it's like 50 grand. What year was that in?
I think that was in 2017 or 2018.
So let the people know that, again, we're inspired to be a podcast to people that want to potentially do stuff like this. How far does 50 grand really go? Like, you're like, it doesn't go far at all.
Well, it depends. So like in this particular situation, it was a special case. So I was taking over a business that was pre-existing, like previously here. And so I took out a loan, and then I matched that loan amount with the Motor City match money to essentially buy out the business that was here. So that came with their equipment and whatnot. I still had to renegotiate.
So you were able to buy some of the stuff that was in here. It was already a restaurant previously?
It was already a restaurant previously, and so essentially what I used that money for was to buy out that business. So that means like assuming everything about the business, and then I made my own business from that point.
So that was primarily what it went to get your foot, huh? Okay,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
So like we got the equipment, everything.
So it did
inside
go
the 4
a
walls.
bit of a way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It usually does, and then you can. I think businesses are able to apply like every quarter, like once a quarter.
Yeah.
They only grant like, I think it's like one business per quarter or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I have like 50 restaurant ideas. I mean, I'm never going to do them. I just have them right now. They're on my notes. And then once I learn this education, I go down the roads, I start learning, okay, I'll open it now.
The best thing to do is to pilot first. Like if you pilot and then get you like a minimum viable product, get a good MVP going, that goes a long way.
Is that like through doing pop-ups, or what do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, you could do it through pop-ups. You could do it through like book clubs, or like, hey, like
his app coming up when you build in the future.
Yeah, like things like that, like the app that we got coming out. Like these are the things, because I've learned from our experience that if you do it without having all of the steps taken into account, they're gonna come up like eventually, like at some point. So it's better to just get them all taken care of, and then
get it out the way. Yeah. You don't have to rush into it too soon,
Yeah. But don't not make a move, right? Like if you're just reading books and researching and not actually getting out there and playing in the field, then you're just never gonna.
I mean, you got to take a risk at some point. Like,
you gotta do it.
That's what everyone
just make it
says,
exist. You can make it better later.
Yeah,
exactly. Right. I mean, that's told the how this podcast got started. I'm like, I'm gonna start going out and do it. I'm just gonna go.
Just do it. Yeah.
I read it. Like, I'm in.
It's a learning experience.
Exactly.
You get better and better.
Yeah.
Jerk chicken, good greens.
That's right.
Now setting tables where my culture intervenes.
That's right.
There, there's his writing skills right there.
There you go. A little sneak peek.
We'll come back. We'll make it freestyle.
There you go.
I'll grab the drum. I got your bit.
Yeah, well, they're about to open up, so let's wrap up. Unless you guys have anything you want to add, anything that you guys had in your mind that you want people to know.
No, not really. I mean,
we appreciate your time.
Appreciate you guys for rocking with us.
I just want to say, real quick, just so all of you guys know, and I know you're probably seeing this everywhere, but it's very, very serious. Support small businesses, all right? Like during the pandemic, which just passed, 40% of businesses have closed. During that time, every single quick service restaurateur, McDonald's, Panera Bread, saw double-digit growth. During that time, the Chipotle stock in that 3-year time period got all the way up to $3,000 off of a $50 IPO.
Yeah.
Should have invested. Damn it.
They did a split now. It's like $60 I think right now. But
like a 50 stock.
Right? So I'm just saying, right? If you got one of your favorite restaurants that you mess with, this is something that you want to go and see around, then keep going. And if they made a mistake, give them grace. It's hard right now for a lot of businesses.
Yep.
I can promise you, the owner of that business did not want you to get your food messed up or your food late or whatever reason it is. All right, I can guarantee that. So support small business. Keep it local.
Yeah, I love that. And real quick, then, what are some of your guys' favorite places in Detroit? If you want to shout those out, then.
Oh, look, you gotta go to Q and Baobab across the street. Zapino's. Dave was always looking out with advice when I first started. He was always like saying, "You should do this, you should do that." When I was working on my business plans back in the day, of course. Hold me closer here with the coffee. I like Ima noodles. Very much enjoy that. And then
That's good.
Is Sava still open?
I don't think so.
Oh, they're closed.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think so.
I was gonna say go check them out.
Well, no one supported that small business.
Exactly. 10 years.
Yeah, come
10
on.
years, and now they're closing.
And that's what we're doing. You know, we're going around to these individually owned places and telling the stories. And we also are going to come back and eat here. And here's my first time having some Yum Village. So I'm fired up.
Appreciate
Beautiful.
y'all.
All right, man. Thanks, guys. Take care. We're
Thank
out till
you.
next time.
Peace.
Sounds great.
Godwin, tell the camera what we got here again.
Oh yeah, right. So right here, this is gonna be a little mix here. So we do fusion food here. So you got your garlic parm chicken here. It's got a little bit of a spice rub on top. It's over a bed of coconut rice. We've got plantain. We've got chicken okra stew, and then we got the ginger curry chickpeas. And then right here is the traditional mafe that we were talking about.
So this is the more traditional dish here?
Yeah, definitely.
Looks fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you try it yet?
No, I didn't want to make too much noise while I was having it.
Oh, yeah. And did you do spicy or not on this one? Because
This is
it's
not
still
spicy.
spicy.
Oh, really?
No, what I'm saying, like, I love it. So, like, if I get Thai food, I always get hot.
Okay.
Like, I always order a hot.
This is like a non-spicy.
So this is the...
I don't think it's spicy. It's amazing though. It's really
Definitely
good.
not spicy, but if that's spicy for you, you got a $100,000 job waiting for you, man. Like super tasty. Yeah,
It's so good. So, the chicken, though, do you, like, how's it go?
We grill the chicken. So typically we grill the chicken. If it's not off the grill, it's not real. How you feel? It's grilled chicken, wood fire. Love it. It's always tasty. And then
So good.
the chicken okra is that same jerk chicken. So we take that jerk chicken and then we put it in the okra stew.
All right.
Amazing.
Let me try this. Dude, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
So
This looks like my kind of dish here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's fantastic. So is this a vegan dish or is there...
This is vegan. There's no meat in this. Yeah. So this is vegan. This is why vegans love us. They come rock with us. You know, but this is protein rich still because you got like that. So this is the stuff where you get the fufu and stuff. You get the fufu with one of the stews. You get it with mafe. You get it with the okra stew. You get it with like the agusi. We have agusi here. You get it with one of those as well.
Yep.
And you Detroit, we're a block off of that White Castle where the old Popeye's chicken used to be.
Yeah, guys, come through Yum Village. Godwin, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
They say my generation full of dough. We tell them thanks, this is our year. But on the real, they saying slow your roll. As if we don't, we gonna die, but we like it. They don't know what life is. My homie, if he heading to the party, we like it. And that poison be pricey, and they gon' get you hyping. But if you ain't throwing down and stay at home.